I would say that the Islamic Studies program can contribute to the life of the university in several ways. One, in a purely academic sense. It's an important area of study that all of our students, of whatever their faith tradition, need to be exposed to. Islam and the regions of the world where it has been dominant have been important shapers of art and science and architecture, culture and theology and a whole range of areas of human tradition. So I'd say that we'd be remiss as a university if this was not an important part of our academic curriculum.
You know, given especially that a lot of universities here in Michigan and definitely in the United States and even abroad, there's so many of these programs going on and they've only contributed in the most positive way. So I feel like this is also going to be very beneficial for University of Detroit.
Being a Jesuit university, it'll give a few people a perspective on Islam that they may not have heard before. It'll give them hopefully a good, decent history of what Islam was prior to post 9/11 and what it is today and what Islam will mean to the world in the years to come.
The program could enrich the life of the student community, faculty, staff. Everyone would be enriched by that, by being better informed and having more accurate knowledge about Islam.
For one thing, it means inclusion of the interest and perspectives and life experience of a good segment of our population that we haven't directly addressed in the past, because we have a lot of students who are of the Islamic faith. But also it recognizes the enormous contributions that Islam has brought into our culture.
I mean, what people tend to do is they stereotype. And this will open up a true discussion of who the people are, what they're about the religion, and I think it'll get people to understand more.
We've had courses in world religions here. We've had a couple of courses in Islam, but to have a program where there's actually an official way of gathering connections to art, architecture, music, history, all the different aspects of the culture, anthropology, sociology, as well as the religious history. It will really help Muslim students learn more about their own tradition, and it will help students who are from other religious traditions learn more about their neighbors.
A program about Islam, which is very indispensable in our times. It will get rid of some phobias that some may have. And I think it would lead to a better coexistence and acceptance.
One of the other things we must remember, the university is unique in that it had a mosque for Muslims, a little mosque designated. So my two sons are here this year, and it's just great to know that your children are hanging out in the mosque when it comes to lunch hours.
Also, our students are going to be graduating and going out into, most of them, going out into jobs in Detroit, the metro area, and in Michigan generally. And exposure to the cultures and backgrounds of all of the potential communities, including Muslim communities, that they'll be interacting with in the workplace.
The way it allows you to think and broadens your perspective, I feel like that's how it will benefit, the community. You won't just look at Islam as, whatever it's been painted for you. Instead, you'll be able to think for yourself and research for yourself.
I mean, from my experience, a lot of people never even ventured into Dearborn. They never even ventured into the Arabic side of Dearborn to experience the Arabic culture, the Islamic architecture, food, all that different concepts, because everyone just didn't know about it. They weren't comfortable with it. But once this Islamic Studies program opens up, we can bring some scholars over from the large concentration of Muslims from Dearborn. We can take field trips or visits to the Arab American Museum, to the mosques that are on Ford Road, and it gives a different kind of twist because it gives a real life perspective to the Islamic Studies program.
Here's this Jesuit school that's talking about a religion that's not ours, but it's important to do so. It shows the open-mindedness of us, and certainly of what we want to do and what we are about.
I want understanding. Unity, I wouldn't want unity to stamp out differences. So I'd want people to understand the uniqueness of their own and each other's faith. I think that adds to a greater appreciation and enhances everybody's faith.
One thing that makes it unique is the program director, Imam Saleh. If you've read his resume, it's pretty vast, and he's the type of person that you can go to, and with his background fighting apartheid in South Africa, and with his knowledge in business leadership and Islamic studies, I mean, it's not that he carries just one educational degree.
When we start discussing Islam or the people, to me, I give the similarities to what happened with Black Studies back in the 60s. It's so important to have a true understanding and a genuine discussion of people, so the people know the truth and understand the reality of the people and the religion.
We're going to have a creative Islam component, a special class. We want to also have a controversial Islam. There are so many questions that Muslims need to answer comfortably without taking offense and without feeling agitated. And it should be done in a very scholarly way, not opinionated way.
If I were to summarize all this in just a couple of sentences, it would be that, first of all, the Islamic Studies program will bring a greater intercultural and interfaith awareness within the university campus and in our relationships outside to the community. And secondly, it will allow people to come to an understanding of things that they have a very sketchy understanding of through the news media and even through some of the other courses that they might have.
We do not tap only into the Sunni community, but also Shia, not only into South Asian, but also European and every community, Nigerian, African community. We are tapping into all those communities out there.
No, I'm just happy that I'm alive to see this now. I mean, as a person who lived through the 50s and 60s and the tumultuous situations there, and the evil that was painted on all people of Islamic faith after 9/11, this is like opening another door. And I'm glad to see that.
The last thing is this is a legacy program. And what we mean by that is when we establish this as an endowment, if I'm not there in a few years from now, and the program will be there for another few hundred years.
I like Catholics to be thinking Catholics. I want them to be better Catholics because they've been here. I want Muslim students to be better Muslims because they've been here.